Welcome, everyone, to the very first After Glow show. Today, I'm Syya Yasotornrat, and if you want to introduce yourself, Erin Gregor.
Hi, I'm Erin Gregor.
I'm Paige White.
So we are part of a Global Leaders Organization. Erin and I are the Dallas chapter chairs. Paige, what do you do with Glow?
I am the VP of Digital Marketing. So everything that you see online and do online comes from these little hands.
Exactly. And so what we're doing is we're off-branding ourselves. So we actually are business owners ourselves. Yep. And so Erin and I are the co-founders of Innovation Media Enterprises. Paige, what is Paige White Collective?
Well, lo and behold, it's a marketing firm, marketing and agency firm. So obviously everything that I'm doing for Glow, I do for other companies as well.
So we have this great thing going on at Glow, where there is a weekly digital meeting in light of this whole pandemic, where they are procuring some amazing speakers to talk to us on a weekly basis about business practices, their life experiences, just individuals that have seen a lot of success as well as a lot of failure in the course of doing business. So this week, we are talking about Mr. Peter Thomas, who is the former chairman of Century 21 out in Canada. He's also now, Paige, CEO of, what's his current company? He's retired now, isn't he?
He is retired, and I was just looking at this morning. So he's still very active in the Thomas Foundation, that supports charities catering to children, mental health, and education in Canada. So he's still very active in that.
Okay, first off, the word active. Can I just tell you, if you haven't seen this man present before, he is the most high energized badass I swore. He's an amazing man. I wish I had his energy, half his energy now. He's incredible.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was just like taking notes, pages and pages of notes as he was talking, and I couldn't even keep up. I mean, he's remarkable, the energy that he has. I just pray that when I'm at that age, if I make it to that age, that I'm half as active and excited about life as he is.
Exactly. I mean, could you imagine him at 40, 30, 20 years old? I mean, the energy he has now as an older gentleman. I mean, it's just he must have been like a tornado to reckon with.
Yeah. And I think what I really loved at the very end, how he had his wife come over of umpteen years. And, this is why this is life to me. His love for his wife and his family was really impressive. And it gave me the feels.
Absolutely. It's almost like, they always say behind a great individual is a supportive person, right? Yeah. And I would love to get to know his wife too. Clearly, she's got to be a force to be reckoned with as well.
Well, they do hikes almost daily, 5 to 10 mile hikes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's remarkable. I'm lucky if I go ride my bike once a week. I mean, I'm feeling a little lazy after watching that.
I'm totally lazy. I'm like, oh my gosh. And that's why he's got the energy, because he's so active. Yeah. It's actually brings up the point where, so let's talk about his presentation and his discussion, because he did a great Q&A as well. But he did have a premise. He has 4 major core values that he talked about, them being health, family, freedom, and integrity. So if you guys don't mind, let's break that down a little bit. So the man walked 8 miles a day. So he's very hyper-tuned with his health. He talked about, it's not just, he said, be active, find a pursuit that you like and be active with it. What do you guys think about that? How much does health have a play in successful business practices?
Well, I think it's everything, because, I've noticed when I've let my health go, other areas go. You're not as clear, you're dragging, you're whatever. So right now there's all this great stuff like about the hustle, right? Like, stay up till 4 a.m. to get the work done. And that's a hard thing, because then you're not sleeping. And if you're not healthy, it just all areas of life. So it really is something you've got to very specifically focus on because it's really the antithesis sometimes of what the entrepreneur looks like, right? And it's a badge of honor to stay up all night. It's a badge of honor to kill yourself and work 24/7 and not take that time to go for a 10-mile hike.
And that's exactly his point, right? Because we don't take the time for it. And I don't know why. Why is it? Why do entrepreneurs, business leaders have that workaholic is a badge of honor? Why do we have that? And why have we developed that? Do you think?
That's how you make money sometimes. I mean, that's the viewpoint. Like, you hustle or things fall through the cracks, or your business doesn't take off, or investors aren't going to invest in you. If you're, I mean, if you're putting other things first, will your business go to the level you need it to go, and will people take you seriously?
Yeah, and it actually reminds me of some networking meetings that I've gone to, and you hear somebody say, "Oh, I've been just working nonstop," and the person beside him says, "Yeah, I haven't slept in 3 days," and then he's like, "Well, I haven't slept in 5 days," and it's been a week for me. You know, it's like this competitiveness of who can do the most work. And I think about a year ago, I was having some health issues, and my doctor was like, "Paige, you just have to exercise and you have to eat right." And I'm like, "Oh, that just sounds so yucky and boring. Who wants to do that?" But it has made a huge difference in my life. I mean, I still don't eat as well as I should, but I make an effort to go cycling at least 3 or 4 times a week. And since I've done that, I actually have more energy. I feel more alert, and I've never felt better. So I agree with Peter 100% on the health and how it actually leads to happiness and everything else down the road.
I guess it's not like it's a sum of all parts, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think we have a tendency to compartmentalize. Okay, so you mentioned family. He said that should be a priority above all things, and these are your cornerstones, rocks, if you will. We are women business leaders. Is it intuitive that we should be focused on our family and it's part of our nature, or do you think it's something that has to be reminded that, you know, you have a family and it's not just about your business?
Well, I mean, I hate to use this. The marriage, I think, had a lot of other issues, but I can guarantee you, I knew, like, it was work and marriage, and they're two very different things, and work always came before marriage. And I mean, we butted on it, and it was like, so it's not even just family from a kid's perspective, it's family from a relationship perspective. And I know first business, I was bogged down in making money, in building my business. I was seeing other things crumble around me, but I was going to fix that when I got the business to the level I needed to go to. And sorry to share the ending, but it didn't quite work out so well. I don't know, Paige, what you have to say about that.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, actually. I don't want to give away too much personal information, but you know, I don't have any children, but I have been married. Have been married is the cue there. So I'm literally very much a workaholic, and it just did not fit with my family. And so I made a decision that, for me anyway, am I happier working? Or am I happier being married? And I actually love to work. So I said bye-bye to the marriage and moved forward as a workaholic.
Yeah, I'm impressed with you guys. I guess I don't have that same level of dedication when it comes to that. Like, for me, my relationship is a priority, because if I can't keep that relationship happy, I'm not happy. Or maybe I'm just codependent. It could be just that too. After 18 years, I guess I've just become a habit on that too, right?
Wow.
So
That's something to be celebrated, believe me.
you know, 18 years is a long time. I'm shocked at how quickly time flies. But that also means I was so focused on my career. How much time did I really dedicate to this relationship? It's been 18 years. Could I bullet point all the successful things that we've done as a partnership, right? And that's maybe something I have to think about as well. And maybe that's what Peter was talking about, is putting that priority on that family, because you have to have those types of relationships.
Yeah. I think it's just easy to get bogged down in the what's needed. And if, I always say I tend to be a fire put outer. So if the fire's not burning, I'm not paying attention to it. And, with families, sometimes there might not be something burning, and you've got to say, it doesn't matter if it's in my face or not, you got to make it a priority always.
And that's true. That's true. Okay, so bullet point number 3, and this is where I had to take notes on this, you guys. He mentioned freedom, and there were questions about this from the audience. They're like, "What do you mean by freedom?" So if your core values are about your health, that makes sense, right? You work out, take care of your well-being, family, obviously focus on your people that you love, near and dearest to you. But freedom, that's a value. Like, what was your take on that, Paige? Because I added discipline underneath it. So
Well,
what do you mean?
yeah, I agree with discipline, but I was thinking financial freedom personally. That's what
Okay.
was coming to mind when he was discussing that.
Isn't it easy when you're a millionaire to say financial freedom? I mean, I'm sorry, no disrespect, but we're we're not millionaires, people. We're going to be, but we're not right now.
Well, and I think it's building to that goal, but I would also say too, it's especially with entrepreneurship, people tend to build a job versus a business. So you can't do it without me. I can't take a vacation because everything's going to blow up. You've got to build it with a different mindset of, I'm leading this. People, I know we talked about people being smarter than you in a room. I'm going to surround myself with people who know better than I do. And so building a business has a freedom to it versus I'm just building heavier chains. Then, I actually had more freedom in corporate America because I could take a vacation, and right now I can't even take a vacation, or I make the money. So if I go away, then no money comes in. Well, that's not freedom. That's a job.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
So okay, so you said it right there, Erin, is if you're not working, you're not making money. Do you think as an entrepreneur or business leader, you have to be a workaholic or have that kind of discipline in order to achieve that financial freedom?
That kind of discipline is broad. You have to have discipline 100%, but, and you have to have discipline in your business. You can't just be, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I'm not going to post to it. I mean, you got to have discipline to post to it, but also I think you have to have discipline in letting go of things, hiring, leading a team, working with that team. And that's discipline in of itself. It doesn't have to be discipline of, I have to stay up till 3:00 in the morning every night.
And you know what? That brings up another, something you were just mentioning that, Erin, and it made me think of something else he said. He said, my management team should be good or better than I am for success. So if you've got a good management team handling all that stuff, you really have time for yourself, and it's not such a workaholic situation at that point, right?
Yeah. Do you think being a workaholic is selfish?
Well, I guess it depends on who's in your life.
I mean, it's an addiction, right? Like it's an addiction. You're working, it's what gives you value. So I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
I guess we can put it this way. How would we feel about ourselves if we did not work?
Ooh.
I'd be lost. And that's not right. That's not good.
See, so I mean, like if tomorrow I no longer had to work, what would I do? I would still want to work.
Me too.
I'd be really lost and sad without something to do like that.
So Raj Daniels, hey Raj, and hey Emery, thank you so much for commenting. But Raj added, have you guys heard of a book called E-Myth?
E-Myth.
Yeah.
M. Gerber?
Yeah.
Okay, I have not, so I need to check it out. Is it a great book? Okay, is that something that?
Yeah, so it's about that. Yeah, 100%. It's like a chiropractor, a plumber. It's people that you build a business, and it's you are the business. How, like, you are the company. How do you get outside of that? How do you start thinking at a bigger and global, like more like a global scale on hiring, and it's not just you doing the job.
Oh, got it. that's what I mean. Erin and I are, co-founders of Innovation Media Enterprises, and I know, Erin, you do bring that up to me a lot. Like, you got to stop thinking as the all-in-one and all-encompassing and doing all the jobs. We're at that point in our business where we really do have to delegate a lot. It's a fascinating thing though, because when you are working hard, you are dedicated, you have that, that ownership. Is it easy to delegate? Is that something that needs to be taught, or is it just out of necessity needs to be done?
Like how to delegate needs to be taught.
No, I mean, like, okay, is it intuitive for business leaders, entrepreneurs to delegate? Is that something that is in our nature?
I have to continually lead or remind myself but I'm a control freak and I'm a do-it-myselfer. I'll just do it myself. Like, it just, everybody else screws it up. I'll do it I have a very bad way of doing that. So I know for me, I've had to learn it and learn it again and learn it again and learn it again. I can't speak for everyone though, to say that it's easy for others.
Paige, what about you?
Oh my gosh, I am the worst at delegating, because my first thought is I have to take the time to either train them, which is going to take forever, and secondly, they're never going to be able to do it as well as I can. I mean, that's ego, right? But I've found once I do train them and they're doing it and they're coming up with wildly great ideas how to make it more efficient, I'm like, man, why didn't I do this sooner? But still, have I learned? No, because when I've got to delegate again, I'm like going through that same damn process over and over again. So it's difficult for me.
Yeah, it's difficult for me too. And that was probably one of the biggest feedback I got in my corporate job too. Was like, you need to let go of a lot of things. It's so hard. It's so hard to, is it ego though, that we can't let go?
I think it's a lot of ego. I think sometimes, well, if everybody else can do it, then why am I here?
Yeah.
You know, what's my value? I know it's probably an underlying issue, but I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Okay, we are, I think, very aggressive female professionals. Do you think men feel the same way? Do you think they have these types of conversations, you guys? Do you think it should happen more often?
I don't know. I don't know if it's easy delegating for men. I don't know.
We should get a guy on and find out.
I think I'd really like to know. I'm just trying to think in my past positions. I really didn't see any of the men have any problem delegating tasks to me, to be honest with you. And that could have been, I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to ask some men and find out.
Maybe they're less attached to the outcomes, because I've known, like, in relationship wise, I really do try to let go of stuff. And then it's like, you just don't do it right. I'll just do it myself. Like, not current relationship, but relationships past. But maybe men let go of the outcome as more than women do.
That's a very interesting viewpoint, Erin. And I think I'm inclined to agree with that. So, okay, let's talk about the last bullet point, integrity. How many times have you worked with someone that you just look at and you're like, wow, if I didn't have to, I would not work with this individual?
How many times can I raise my hand?
Right? What do you guys think of, like, integrity from a perspective of firing clients too? Have you ever fired a client because who you were working with it wasn't worth the money because of what they were or who they were about?
I actually have, and I actually put a clause in one of my contracts agreements that kind of outlines some of that, that, the client agrees to be kind and just blah, 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 a little more worded than that, obviously. But I actually put that in my contract that I had people sign now, and I bullet point it because I want to know that I can't be spoke to that way or run over, and I don't care who you are or how happy or unhappy you are with my services. Nobody deserves to be treated that way. So I took action that way.
I like that.
I like that.
I've fired before because they were just treating my employees horrible. And I'm like, your money's not worth it. I will not have anybody treated like that ever. It's not worth it.
So, okay. I have not, unfortunately, had the ability to, quote, fire, but let's just say I've chosen to not do business with them. But it's like ghosting, I guess. I ghosted. because I represented a corporation at that time, it wasn't just my personal business. So I couldn't say I'm firing you, but I did back off the relationship. Have you ever had to fire someone that you liked, but just from a business perspective, just you could not do business with? Tough question, I know, or doesn't even happen.
I think it was more of a sense of not because we butted heads, but because I really liked them. They just weren't getting their stuff together, and I knew I couldn't help them. So for me to take money from them was really not fair because they weren't in a position to really take advantage of it. Let's just put it that way. And because of that, I was taking advantage of them if I would have continued doing business with them.
Yeah. That's a good point. So, let's see. I had some other bullet points that we took so many notes here that I'm just like, I'm kind of like, Paige, help me out here. So,
well, you
mentioned so many amazing things.
You actually reminded me something this morning that you wanted to discuss, and you said one of the quotes that he has was, "Don't do business with a pig." Remember, right. you had mentioned that.
Can I just say, like, the instant visual I got when he said that was literally slapping lipstick on a pig, and I was just laughing in my head because I was like, I'm probably missing the point of what he's saying because all I could get was a visualization of like a pig and lipstick, putting it on. And how many times have you guys worked on a project or an account or a person where you're just like, wow, this is a, for lack of a better term, this is not good. It's a SHIT show, if you will.
Yeah.
I spelled, you guys should be happy I spelt it. I didn't say it. I didn't curse.
I was really hoping you would have just said it because it would have been really cute, but that's fine.
not on LinkedIn.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But yeah, no, the pig. I mean, have you ever walked in thinking you were working with like someone that was amazing and they turned into a pig? That too, like.
Yeah, somebody that I really looked up to. I was really impressed, so excited to be working alongside this person. And, 15, 20 minutes into the conversation, and I'm like, I want out. Wow. I don't want to be a part of this project whatsoever. But unfortunately, I was stuck with them for 3 years, and it was really a difficult situation. Really, really a difficult situation for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
but
okay.
The pig eventually went to slaughter, and everything was good.
So, okay, there's another thing he mentioned with profit with purpose. And I really like this. So he has made, so Peter made his money and lost money on investments, particularly around real estate, right? So none of us are in real estate, but Erin, actually you did make some kind of investments. You dabbled in the real estate, home ownership, rental.
I still do. Yeah.
Yeah. At 20, wait, can we talk about that real quick, you guys? Erin, you bought your first house at how old?
22.
Wow.
Right? I'm like, who does this? So what made you at 22 buy a house?
Honestly, it was one of those things where we had to move. I had moved, excuse me, to Arizona with 3 of my friends. We were living in an apartment. I'd gotten a good job, and I did the math, and I'm like, well, we could get this apartment and spend like $500 or $600 each, or I could buy this house and then it was like $300 each or something was the mortgage. And I'm like, just makes sense. So that's what made me start doing it. And then I started getting more involved when I just realized I had to own more versus work for corporate America. So that's when I got my realtor's license and started buying more properties.
How did you get
that? She was an entrepreneur from a young age.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Luckily, it was Rich Dad Poor Dad. That book changed my whole perspective on everything.
Which book?
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What were you going to ask, Syya? You were.
Oh, no. I remember you mentioning that Rich Dad Poor Dad was like such a influential book in your life. I've just been impressed by so how did you get the capital to put money down? You just saved up all your money?
No, actually, I didn't save up my money. I almost got very screwed. Actually, I did not save any of my money. A I was spending everything I was making, but I had saved enough. It was I can't think of the term anymore. It was $120,000 house, so it wasn't that expensive, and I needed 3% for the pay down, for the down payment.
Down payment.
So that was FHA loan, I think is what it's called. So that was my first one, and then I that's when I really started getting into investing, because I luckily didn't lose my job. However, had I lost my job, it was in the early 2000s when everything crashed. Had I lost my job, I would have lost the house. I bought a brand new house, a car. I had I brought home, let's say, $3,000 a month. I don't know if that's the number. I was spending $3,000 a month. So I was like, oh, I'm going to have a job forever. This is fantastic. So I learned that lesson. And that's when I really started saying, I got to own stuff and I have to invest. So yeah, my dad taught me to save. So I kind of knew to save, but I kind of had it in my head too that, I mean, I was rich, because I always share the story. I went to Accenture, was my first job. And they said, what are you asking? I said, 35,000. They said, I'll pay you 42. And I was like,
oh my gosh. Wow.
That is a lesson.
Crap.
Yeah.
That's so much money. I was like, I've always worked, 10 jobs to make that. I only have to work one. And then I got another job because I was bored. So it worked. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Paige, I don't know about you, but I make fun of Erin because she's got so many things running in congruent, like she has multiple lanes, if you will. Do you guys ever watch that TV show in Living Color back in the 90s? And they had that skit, The Jamaican Family. Like, I call Erin like the Jamaican family because you're lazy, man. You only have 3 jobs. And I did a really bad accent, but Erin, that is so Erin, and it just cracks me up. Erin, was that always in you to always have that, your finger on multiple pulses, or do you think you were born with it?
Well, I grew up always working. At 5 years old, I got my first job. I was bored, and I lived on a farm, so that's why. So life was always work for me. So I don't know if I've known any different. And I don't think it's a good thing anymore. Like, I've really done a lot of searching on this. Like, I don't like that. I like to have my hands in so many different pots. It's a control thing, because that way, if one goes down, I know everything's still under control. So yeah, I had 4 jobs through college because I like to spend money, and I always wanted money to spend. And I knew I would drink if I wasn't working. So it was just, I always had like 3-4 jobs, always. And then when I got to corporate America and I was done by 5 every day, I'm like, I'm either going to get myself in a lot of trouble or I need to get another job. So.
Hey, Erin. So hi, Cappy. This is probably going back a little bit in time because I'm not quite sure when he popped in here, but is for Erin, because of professional incompetence or because of personal attitude, habits, behavior, appearance, what caused you to know after 15 minutes at a gut level check that the next 3 years was likely to be as bad as it turned out to be?
What 3 years?
I'm wondering if, hey, Cappy, I think we're a little bit ahead of you. So I'm reading this post our conversation.
I don't know. What did I say about 3 years? I don't remember.
Cappy, write more. We don't know what you're asking.
I don't remember it. You said 3 years.
I think, it is. I think it's because we are live, but I'm not sure when people jump in if they're watching us live or if it's backdate. You know what I mean? Whenever they log in. So I'm not quite sure how LinkedIn works.
I'm on LinkedIn and I can't see any comments. I'm in your show on LinkedIn.
Really? You don't see the comments live? Oh.
Mm-mm. Anyway, we can keep going.
At any rate, okay. Well, this is so weird about the whole thing about LinkedIn Live is trying to understand how this works and how it's rolling out. So anyone that has opinions on that, please let us know. So we are hitting the 29 minutes here, and we want to keep this under 30 minutes. Parting thoughts on Peter.
Oh, it was for Paige. Cappy I got the comment. It was for Paige.
Oh, it's for Paige. Oh, you know what? I bet you was when you sat down and talked to someone that first 15-minute conversation when you want to get out of that meeting.
The 3-year job, Paige.
Okay. So, but what was the question? I'm sorry, I was being.
Go ahead, Syya.
Well, I was just going to reread what Cappy had said, which is because of when you wanted to bounce out with that individual, like after you met with them or talked to them, was it because of their personal attitude, habit, behavior, appearance, or was it because they were incompetent, like professionally incompetent, that you said, I need to back out of this relationship?
You know what? They were not professionally incompetent. They were extremely talented, extremely smart. It was at that time. How do I even? I don't even know how to go into this conversation. Let's just say that it was just it was a very handsy position that I was in, and it was just very difficult to put up with that on a daily basis. And you know what? I think I probably put it up with for so long because I admired this man so much. I mean, he was so incredible, and he was an inspiration to me. But he just didn't know when to keep his hands off, and that's pretty much what the issue was.
So like handsy or like
handsy?
Handsy. Okay. I was like, is that micromanaging or okay, got it.
Yeah.
It's so sad that's even an issue this day and age, but we won't. That's another topic for another day because we definitely can keep going. So
and I think we're coming to the end, but I just really want to kind of just say one of the things that Peter said that I really loved, and I actually posted this up on our social channels just to leave because it really made me think. He says, if I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm in the wrong room. And I just kind of want to leave everybody with that because it's such a bold and real statement. It really touched me when he said that. Makes a lot of sense.
I absolutely agree. And I'm quite frankly, I know I'm never the smart person in the room. So
yeah, me too.
No issues on this side. Even with talking to you two, you guys are so like, I love listening and learning from you guys. So this is the Afterglow show. It is focused on our thoughts. We ruminate over the course of the evening about the speaker series that Global Leaders Organization puts together. Erin and I are the Dallas co-chairs. Paige is VP of Marketing with Global Leaders Organization. We are going to be changing out. So Paige, thank you for being the first guest. And Erin and I may not necessarily be always the hosts either of this. We might have other chapter chairs driving this, but the focus of this is about the speakers. And there's a reason why, because I think as business leaders, professionals, and entrepreneurs, we can always learn from others. So Peter Thomas was this past yesterday's speaker. Next week, we've got Dr. William Jolly. I'm going to admit it, you guys, I don't know anything about Dr. Jolly. Do you guys know?
He's a motivational speaker. He's going to get us pumped up and excited for getting back to work.
Well, we need it. Heaven knows. And the week after is someone very near and dear to my heart, Jean-Charles Boisset, who is the founder and the face of the Boisset collection of wineries. I think he's got 28 or 29 wineries under his name. I'm a member of the Raymond winery, so I am absolutely excited to hear from him. If you guys don't know him, he's incredibly inspirational, and just talk about, he started from nothing and then grew this great, huge winery empire. So, and
that's pretty much how he took a tarnished penny and turned it into 450 million. That's kind of the essence.
Wow.
Yeah. Right now I've got, Erin, we got some work ahead of us on our Innovation Media Enterprise. We got to make that
well, I need the motivational talk on Thursday because I went to the office this week and put on some clothes, and I'm those quarantine memes going around. Let's just put it that way. All right.
You guys, I love it.
So we are going to we do this live intentionally because we want some more raw, feedback, emotion about what we're hearing about from these amazing speakers. We are going to be recording it and putting it in a podcast format, so you can by next week should be able to see it in podcast form. But Paige, do you have any thoughts, questions before we close out?
I'm just happy it's Friday. Welcome to the weekend.
Woo. Erin, any parting thoughts?
No, I'm with Paige. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It's Syya. And let's just close. I don't have any sayings. This is like so rough. Thanks for joining us on the Afterglow show on live LinkedIn Live. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye.